Good evening. Welcome to Embracing Life with Cynthia. Yes, another Cynthia. That's kind of what I was thinking the other day because um, there seems to be so many people named Cindy or Cynthia in my age group. And when I was a little kid in grade school, I could not stand the fact that there was always seemed like one or two or more girls named Cindy in my class. And even in college, when I went my second year of college, there I roomed with six other girls, and two other of those girls, one went by Cindy, the other went by Cynthia. So there were three Cynthias in our dorm room, or not dorm room, but apartment room. And so anyhow, but I still honor it because my parents gave me that name. They apparently liked it and decided that was what I should be named. So another Cynthia, another Cindy. I was always called Cindy growing up by my family. So I answer to either. Anyhow, so back to this, my video, my YouTube channel. I want to focus on using our experiences as our GPS because they lead to a flight plan of healing and growth. So that's kind of what I want to stick with, telling stories. Just stories about my life, things I've done, things I'm going to do. I'll be sharing with you all the different stuff that I like to do. I consider myself a pretty creative person. I'm an artist, I'm an author, I love to cook, I love to organize, I've done lots of sewing in my life. So I have a lot of avenues and of creativity, and so I would like to share all those things with you. Excuse my voice. I don't know what's going on. It gets all raspy on me for some reason lately. So start with, as an artist, you can see a little bit behind me some of the paintings I have hanging up in my in here in my little office area, and then over here behind me is a book stand that I have for doing when I do book signings and such, and that is my first book, which is called Gravity's Embrace, and that's a big major experience in my life that I had to write a book about. My husband was in the Air Force. We got stationed at Eielson Air Force Base, which is up by Fairbanks, and my older brother lived in Homer. My younger brother was going back and forth between California and Alaska, where my family's originally from California. Actually, I grew up in Santa Barbara, Goleta, where I grew up on the coast there. Went to the beach a lot. Anyhow, my brother was there. We had got stationed at Eielson in 1991. Got to drive the Alcan up. It was an awesome experience. My brother had bought an airplane that year there in Alaska, my younger brother, and then had actually flown back to California and then come up the next summer and was working with my older brother, who was a fish spotter. If anybody knows what that is, the pilots would fly out and find the schools of fish for the fishermen in the boats and radio to them, tell them where they were. So they'd work with different boats and things to help them get their catch. So my younger brother had been doing that with my older brother that summer, and then they had finished that season up, and that summer was pretty much over with. It was the end of September, and he came up to visit us. He flew into airport called Bradley Sky Ranch, which is in North Pole. So anybody watching this that's from Alaska or that area, excuse me, that is what was going on that year. So he came to visit us. He was trying to go back, but the weather was bad, so he was trying to find a window of weather that he could get out, and he finally found one, and so I drove him to the airport, helped him load up his plane, and he took off, and then ended up disappearing. We didn't know where he was. He was missing for 10 months. And no, he didn't survive. But the book is all about the searching process that our family had to go through. And it's a big involved story. So I'll talk about it some on here, but obviously you'd have to read the book to get all of the details and such, because it's a very involved story. Like I said, I do have a second book I'm working on called Free Falling into Flight, My Journey Through Pain, Discovery, and Healing. And that focuses a little more on just a lot of the stuff I had to go through growing up, because when we were children, our mother passed away. So I've had what seems like a lot of death in my life, and I had to figure out what it meant. I'd always wonder, why is all this death in my life? And I've finally figured out why. But part of that is death teaches us to live. Anyhow, that's another involved story. So that book I'm working on, I'm hoping I get it out this year. So yeah. So what I wanted to do with this, like I said, this channel is to be able to just tell my stories and all the things that I'm doing in my life, just like everybody else does, all the fun things and sometimes the hard things you have to go through as well. So the one story that comes up to go along with my brother's missing, which, like I said, was such a big part of my life and still is in a lot of ways. So many things to learn from it. But one of the main learnings in it for me was my father was living in California at the time, and he couldn't, obviously you can't do much searching in the winter. We had a search, an official search that only lasted 2 weeks, well, not even quite 2 weeks. And then when that's over with, they just hand it back to you, and you as a family have to figure out if you're going to do any more searching or what you're going to do to search. So my father came, this was October when my brother left, October 9th. My dad drove his motorhome up in April and began searching. He'd drive around, find pilots, people would offer to fly him and search, etc., etc. So, but he would be at our house a lot, coming and, eating dinner, doing laundry and stuff. So, but he was so distraught by everything, which is normal. Any parent should be really upset if their child goes missing. But he couldn't enjoy those of us that were still there. My children were young, and he just couldn't enjoy them. He couldn't enjoy us. It made me look at it and realize that you have to love and honor and be part of the people that are still in your life, that are alive. You can't stop living because somebody disappears or dies or that kind of thing. You have to still appreciate and love and enjoy the time you have with the people that are still here. And he just couldn't seem to do that. So that taught me that I had to be present and love those that are here in this life with me still. And that was a really big lesson. So I hope that anybody else struggling with that kind of thing can do that too. And it doesn't mean that you stop caring or you don't really struggle when those hard times are in your life. You just do the best you can to honor those that are with you and deal with what's happening. So anyhow, that's probably long enough for a video. Hopefully you'll stay to watch it. But I plan on sharing lots of other stories and things about my life. And then it would be really awesome if you all would share your experiences, if you've had similar experiences to mine or not, or whatever. I think life is about sharing. That's why we write books. That's why we have these videos, is to share, because you know what? My sharing and my healings and the things I'm struggling with or I've learned to overcome will hopefully help somebody else on their journey to maybe make it a little bit lighter, a little bit easier, or even just the fact of it to say, I've been through the same type of things, and I've thought same thoughts, and so you don't feel like you're the only one in life. And because I have many times in my life felt like I'm the only one going through all this, and I've learned through the years that I'm not. Everybody's gone through their tough times, so if we share them and we honor them and we learn from them, then we help one another. So with that, I hope you have a lovely evening or a lovely day, whenever you're watching this. And I will be back soon. Until then, have a good one.